just wanted to explain what went on yesterday because I was kind of very unclear of basically what went on yesterday. Anyway, so basically yesterday I really wanted to get another Crested Gecko because they are amazing. Obviously, you know I already have one because this is Milo's YouTube account, and so basically Milo is still 7 grams. He hasn't gained any weight at all. So I was like, okay, so my idea was to go to the pet store to get crickets. And so I was like, okay, so there's one issue that I was having, and that is like no pet stores around me sell Crested Geckos. Like it's either they do and they only have like one or a few left, or they don't sell them and they don't know when they're gonna get any more. So I went ahead and I called places near me, like the closest places near me, to see like what I could do, because I didn't want it to be too far away, like an 18-minute drive or anything. Like 15 minutes is okay, but I really did want something a little closer. So the first place that I called, I was super nervous because I haven't called any places or like anywhere since I've gotten Milo, which, let's face it, that was like 8 months ago. And so I was super nervous. Why do I grab the one that's not open? I thought this one was open though. Sorry. This is what I'm using for my hair. Anyway, so the first place I called, this girl answered the phone, right? And I'm just trying to be super nice. Like, I say thank you and whatever. And I try and be, like, super nice to everybody. And, like, you know, because I would want, if I was working on the phone or, like, at a place, I would want someone to be super nice to me and, like, very, like, I don't know, like, just nice and polite and everything. So basically, this woman answers the phone, and I'm like, do you guys sell any geckos, like Crested Geckos? And she's like, Crested Geckos? I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, I don't think so. Like, I said, do you guys sell Crested Geckos? She's like, no, I don't think so. So, I call back a little later, just because, you know, like, sometimes people, like, sometimes not the same person answers the phone, depending on how busy it is and everything. I'm calling at, like, 11-ish in the morning, to, you know, because my mom's doing overtime and everything, so she's not done till 1. So I took it as a good time to call around and just see, like, what places I could go to that might have some. Because instead of going to a Petco and then not having money. So I call back a little later, right? Hoping that it's not the same person answered the phone the first time. And it was. And I'm like, so the first time I called, my voice was very light. And the second time I called, I kind of used a little bit, like, closer to my real voice, only I made it more sound like this, instead of, like, this. It's very, very, very close, but I just try and, like, lower my voice a little bit and, like, talk. Instead of me, like, talking like this, you know? And I'm like, do you sell any leopard geckos? She's like, no, I don't think so. So then I called again. I'm like, or did I say, can you see how many leopard geckos you have or whatever? Like, I said, can you go check or whatever? Cause like, in between calling that one Petco, I called the PetSmart that was close by, and they're like, okay, let me go check. Like, she was so nice, and she's like, we actually have one left. I'm like, okay, thank you. So then I call the Petco again, and then that's when I asked, like, do I sell any leopard geckos? She's like, no, I don't think so. And in my head, I'm like, I did not ask if you thought so, because I called, because, you know, on their menu, they're like, you know, if you're calling for this reason, press this number, and I made sure to press the one that's for reptiles, birds, or whatever. So I make sure to press the right one, because I would understand, like, if she doesn't work in that department, just saying, like, no, I don't, like, think we do. Like, I would understand that. But if she works with the reptiles and everything, and birds and everything like that, I would think that she would, whatever. She was just really, really rude and, like, really attitudey, like, annoyed with me, basically. And I know it's probably really annoying of me to call, but I was really, 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 really hoping that the same person wouldn't answer the phone, because I let, like, 30 minutes pass while I'm trying to search for other places. So, like I said, I called, like, 5 different places, and the 4th place that I called, or the 5th place I called, was the one that I ended up going to, and the first person who answered was this boy or man, and he was super nice. Like, he was like, okay, let me check. I said, thank you. He's like, you're welcome. And then I'm like, okay, thank you for checking. He's like, no problem. And so he's super nice. Like, everybody else I've been on the phone with in other Petcos and PetSmarts, they've been super nice. So, the last Petco I called, they end up having some. I'm like, okay. So then the second time I called that, I call a little bit later, because I'm, like, looking online to see, like, what type of tanks they have, because I only have Milo. I only have the one. And so I'm calling to see what other, terrariums, tanks they have for the one I need. So I'm going to get the same one I have now, 12 by 12 by 18. I make sure to get the same size. And I call again, and a different girl picks up. She's so nice again. Like, they were so very polite. And she's like, yeah, like, let me go check. And then she calls, and then she puts me on hold. And then she comes off the phone. She's like, yeah, we actually have 2 left. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. She's like, yeah, no problem. And then we say goodbye. So they were super nice. And so please don't get mad at me for doing this again. As we all know, Petco, PetSmarts, all the chain pet stores don't take care of their animals correctly. Or basically they don't know really what they're doing, because they hire people that have nothing to do with reptiles, or like they never owned one or done research at all. So basically, as you guys know in the video, I'm not sure if I'm going to put this with the other video or this is going to be a separate one, so just bear with me. As you all know, if you watched the video before this or the footage before this, you know that, I didn't get it. We don't have one. I else I'd be showing it off. No, because I wouldn't take it out of the tank. Anyway, but long story short, I don't have it, okay? So we go there. There's one left. It looks a lot bigger than Milo, a lot healthier than Milo, from what we can see, because it was obviously night and the lights were still on. It was still early. It was only like 6 o'clock. And obviously they're not going to come out when there's people and there's bright lights on. So, basically, I'm, like, telling my mom, like, so, like, it was so funny, because I didn't tell my mom that I was going, like I said, I was telling her that I'm going for crickets, right? I don't tell her that I'm going to get a new animal, or I joke, I'm like, I'm going to get a new animal, and we would joke, and it would be the crickets. So, when I went there, like, before we left to go, I, like, tell her I'm getting a new animal, and she's like, the crickets, right? I'm like, no. She's like, you're joking with me, right? I'm like, no. And so I'm like, I want a crested gecko. I want another one. She's like, so you're just gonna like drop it on me like that? I'm like, yeah. Yes, I am. Anyway, so that's like before we drive there. So then we're driving there, and then you know that there's one there. There's one crested gecko there, and I brought enough money to buy the gecko and the tank. I bought enough to buy both of those and still have money for in case if I need to get other things. I brought enough money. So, as you all know, my uncle has bred crested geckos. Sadly, it was too much for him and he had to give some away, or they passed away. I don't know really what happened. It's none of my business. Anyway, but he did breed them like quite a few years ago. It'd probably be more than 3 years ago now, and he has tanks left over. So my mom called him and was talking to him and asking him, like, if, like, saying, like, oh, my daughter hoodwinked me here, like, to get another crested gecko. And and my mom's talking to him. I don't get to talk to him. I didn't get to talk to him about anything. Like, it was just him and my mom talking, right? And he wanted to know, like, the price and everything, because, as you know, I would probably be getting an unhealthy crested gecko, as we all know. And it was $65, which was a lot cheaper than Milo. My mom paid $75 for Milo. And instead, I got a freaking unhealthy. We call him a special needs gecko because he is struggling. Anyway, besides the point. So, my uncle's like, yeah, I have tanks for you, but, he talks about, like, he went to expos, like reptile expos, to get some of his really cool crested geckos for a good price, because he went there on the last day of the expo, which is when really people are trying to give their animals away because it's the last day and they just really want them gone. So basically, there's one coming up in March. Like I said, I'm not saying the date publicly, just because for safety reasons I don't feel like sharing that information. But there is one coming up in March, the middle of March at some time. I know the date of it, but like I said, I just don't feel safe sharing it with you guys. And we're going to go. I don't know if my mom is going, but I know that my uncle is taking me. I just don't know if my mom is going or not, because he is buying the tickets for us, or for me, and my mom is probably going to just pay him back. Anyway, because you have to buy the tickets online and everything. So, we're going on the last day of the Pet Expo. So like I said, it's kind of the middle of March, but it's not really. It's kind of like the first few weeks of March. Not like, it's not really like, it's not the 25th. It's a little bit earlier than the 25th. So it's kind of the middle of March. I guess you would call that towards the end. But mine is probably the middle of March then, I guess. Anyway, so we're going on the last day of it because, like I said, for the reason of he may know some breeders and can be able to talk to them and whatnot. And also, he's been to many of these before since he bred them and made really, really cool morphs. Like I said, my uncle, like, he's always busy working and everything. And like, I feel like everybody's so busy in our family working. Like, that's all I say to you guys. Like, oh yeah, like, our family's so busy working. Anyway, but so like he's always busy. He lives like an hour or two away from me, so like I don't get to see him very much. And with people I don't really see, I'm super, super, super quiet and shy and kind of awkward. But yeah, it's my uncle who had Penny, and so I'm super excited to go because I may be able to get more than one crested gecko depending on the prices. Like I said, I'm paying for the crested geckos myself, so I may, and my uncle has tanks and everything for me, so I don't have to worry about that expense at all. Which, let's face it, it could be $200 to $100 more dollars that I don't have to worry about. And it makes me kind of like, it makes me kind of feel bad because what if my uncle does want to start breeding again, but you think he would already have started? I don't know. He said it was too much for him, so I think that time in his life has passed. I'm not going to breed them while I'm living here. That's just not something that I'm into doing. So, as of right now, I'm not going to breed any. And I'm really hoping for females, because we don't know what Milo is yet. Me and my mom are joking, saying, like, we'll probably never know what he is because he has trouble growing. But yeah, we call him my little special needs buddy. So, leave name suggestions in the comments. If you can't comment name suggestions on my newest post on Milo's Instagram, which I believe is Milo_crested gecko. So, so again, if you're not following him, go ahead and follow Milo. And yeah, I just wanted to share the update. Also, I will be watching my uncle's dog February 16th through the 19th, I think it was. So look out for that. Super exciting. We're just watching Copper, not Bee. I don't know why just Copper, but maybe because Beat isn't my uncle's dog, so it's just his person that is just my uncle's person that he knows. Well, I mean, I guess I don't want to share too much information because it's not my. But anyway, long story short, it's not my uncle's dog. It's not in his name, so maybe she found somebody else to watch him. I don't know. Anywho, I don't care. It's none of my business. All I know is that we're watching Copper. So, there's that. I always hate brushing my hair after my shower because it takes forever. Anyway, so again, just to recap, it was basically yesterday I tricked my mom into taking me to a Petco to hopefully I tricked my mom to taking me to Petco because she just thought I was getting crickets, but really I really wanted another crested gecko. And she called my uncle to ask for a tank, but instead he said that he would take me and maybe my mom to a reptile expo so I could get more sometime in the middle of March. Like I said, I know the date, but I just don't feel safe sharing it. Also, on February 16th through the 19th, we will hopefully be watching Copper. So, that is just like the little recap of what went on yesterday. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did enjoy this and are excited for me to get some more crested geckos, please hit that subscribe button, and if you can comment down some female names for crested geckos. It's hard to tell you guys because I don't even know what morph I'm getting. It'll probably be ones that are less popular because we're going on the last day. So expect nothing too fancy. And because I would rather get a cheaper, healthier gecko, no matter what its colorations are, than get one that's super cool and more expensive. So don't expect anything too popular or too fancy for me because that's not what I'm about. And I'm hoping because we're getting it not from a pet store, I'm hoping that it will be healthier, and this is the right way to do it, other than spend my money like crazy on a Petco or PetSmart reptile that will probably die. So learn from my mistakes and get one from a professional breeder that takes care and knows what they're doing, because just like dogs, well, actually nothing like dogs, but I'm saying if you had to, get one from a breeder, even though I believe in adopting from shelters. But if you had to, make sure it's just like dogs. You just gotta find a really good breeder that knows what they're doing and takes care of their dogs. That way your puppy, or in my case, reptile, crested gecko, will be healthy and happy. Alright, again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you guys have an amazing Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to be posting this, but hopefully today, because I'm going to probably edit it right now, because I'm done with my hair for today. So thank you all so much for watching. Bye!